here with another weekly devotion. Today we are going to talk about prayer. Yes. How should we pray? Or how do we pray? Are we praying from our heart, or we just pray for, just to be seen by others or to get something? So we're going to discuss about that. And the Bible verse which I found, it's in Matthew chapter 6 with 5. It says in the Message version, when you come before God, don't turn that into a theatrical production. You know, when Jesus said to the Pharisees, he said that they turned their prayer into a theatrical production, and that God wasn't moved by it. So even there is an author, John Ortberg, he points out 5 things about them, about the Pharisees. That first of all, number 1 is that their prayers had become a shallow exercise rather than a deep relationship building one. And it happens so many times. 2, they were rituals rather than an authentic expression of a loving heart. So we need to keep in mind that. Is it a ritual which we do? Okay, we pray every morning and evening, or we pray every day at 12 o'clock. Or is something that comes authentically and out of a loving heart? 3, they were long and wordy. So long prayers, lots of words, and most of them, they are designed to impress others. 4, they were filled with meaningless cliches. Like, sometimes when you repeat something and it doesn't make sense, or it's just nonsense. 5, they became a cause for pride rather than an opportunity to express humble reliance on God. So we need to keep that in mind when we pray. Is it because someone else is listening to us and we want to pride ourselves, like, hey, look at me, I'm praying, more fancy, I use words which you don't use, or things like that? That's not good at all. So, and if you want to relate, you need to think about, if you can imagine your child approaching you with a whole bunch of religious themes or thoughts, how would it make you feel? When it comes to prayer, Jesus said, find a quiet, secluded place so you won't be tempted to role play before God. Because that's what we do sometimes. We role play before God. Just be there as simple and honestly as you can manage. The focus will shift totally from you to God, and you will begin to sense His grace if you do that. The world is full of so-called prayer warriors who are prayer ignorant. And they're full of formulas and programs and advice and padding techniques for getting what you want from God. Don't fall for that nonsense. Seriously. This is your Father you are dealing with, and He knows better than you what you need. With a God like this loving you, you can pray very simply, like in verse 6 to 8. You can pray anywhere, but pray from your heart. You can pray, like an example, in your car while you're driving. You can pray in your bathroom. while you prepare for work, while you're lying in bed, while you're exercising in gym, at work. All God asks is that you be spontaneous, personal, just you and Him, and honest. In other words, just pray from your heart. This is my message for today. If you want to read further on, you can go in 2 Kings chapter 10 to 12 and Acts chapter 9 from 23 to 43. I hope you have a blessed week, and I'll see you next time to a new weekly devotion. Take care. God bless you. Bye-bye.